Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Theravada Buddhism series, Dharma talk number 23. And today's topic is 4 causes of materiality of the body. There are 4 producing causes of the materiality of the body. They are karma, consciousness, climate, and nutrition. The first one, this materiality, rupa, matter, are caused by karma. Karma is volitional activities. Karma is the accumulated volitional activities one has done in the past. For this specific case, karma is the accumulated volitional activities one has done in the past lives. Every new rebirth is the result of past karma. And when we say karma-born materiality of the body, it is the genome or a set of genetic information, and of course the human anatomy that we are born with. All the perfections and the flaws in the DNA of a person are the product or the result of the past karma. It is the basic material frame of the body. We inherit it from the past life's karma. Based on the defect in the DNA, one may be prone to a certain kind of physical or mental diseases with a high probability to get affected in this life. Some people are deficient in sight, some in sound, speech. Some will be born with no legs or no hands. Some have a dwarfish body. These are the manifestations of the materiality of karma. However, we are not ill-fated or doomed to live with a flawed DNA and substandard qualities of the human body. It is not a doom scenario. Because we also have some accumulated good karma. And when these good karmas come into play, it may give opportunities to correct these defects of substandard of this physical body. And that is the material rupa produced by karma of past lives. The next type of materiality is materiality produced by consciousness, citta, consciousness, the mind. Consciousness or the mind is another cause of producing materiality in our body. At a glance, it seems difficult to accept that the mind can produce matter, materiality. So let's see how this plays out. When the mind is happy, the body produces happy neurochemicals such as dopamine, serotonin, oxytocin, and endorphin. These are the few chemicals that most of us quite heard about it quite often. When one is sad or depressed, the body produces less happy neurochemicals. When one is under heavy stress, neurochemicals such as adrenaline, or noradrenaline, something like that, are produced in the body when the mind is heavily stressed. Those material products are a few examples of mind-made materiality. Rupa produced by citta. In some cases, this material arise and disappear along with the settled thoughts. Settled thought arises, disappear, along with it, these materials arise and disappear. In other words, you don't really feel the effect, quite obviously. However, if stressful situations are extremely intense, the traumatic experience linger on in the memory, and these thoughts will arise frequently in the mind in the future. Along with those repeated mental state, the body materiality such as stress hormones keep on producing repeatedly. That kind of materiality produced by consciousness, the mind, can and will affect and influence the basic cells or the materiality of the karma that we have or that we are born with. These are the secondary products by the mind, but in a higher dose it can affect the basic frame, karma materiality. Let's look at a scenario of a person born with mental health issues. That unwanted karma materiality can be influenced or controlled with wholesome thoughts, with right attitudes, in one word, meditation. These will produce more healthy cells, counteractive to the depressive cells. So just don't think that's wholesome thought, right attitude, right thoughts, meditations, does nothing. They are producing good cells that counteract the negative cells. If a person diligently keep up with the newly developed thought process or programs, the mind-made good material can influence and even control the negative materiality one has at birth. This is how materiality of consciousness, citta, can affect the materiality of karma. Karma born rupa. Okay, this is straight out with the thoughts and wholesome attitudes. But let's look at it in a different angle. Let's look at it in terms of the available modern facilities. Suppose a person with mental illness from birth decided to see a counselor or a psychologist or psychiatrist. He or she may be or will be given a set of tools for behavioral activities to relieve the mental illness. That given tool or behavior changes are taken to heart by the patient, by the client. Okay, so the supposition is the patient take these changes, behavioral change programs or tools to heart and live with it. And if one live with it, the fact of the matter is, in this particular case, whenever the client is exercising these behavioral changes, there are a series of thoughts arising, and there's a series of thoughts directing to implement these changes. These behavior patterns changes doesn't happen automatically. There's a thought driven from behind. So in other words, it's the thought that is making these programs. The key cause is the thought to implement these changes. These thoughts and attitudes are producing mind-made material. The mind is mind-driven, so along with it, cause and effect connection. The mind and matters are produced because of the thought. As the mind-made material multiplies, because you're keeping up with the programs, the mind-made material multiplies. It starts affecting or influencing the negative karma-producing material. As such, the result of karma that one is born with is no more a doomed scenario. It can be changed based on proper attitude, wise attention, yoniso manasikara, or programmed behavioral changes. Now, a new line of good materiality produced by these are influencing the body of the person, of the patient, and the mental illness can be maintained, helped, or controlled. And these are the results of the mind-made materiality. That is how mind is producing a certain type of matter or materiality. Let's look at another little easier one related with the programming. Let's say implementing a disciplined exercise program. Okay, you go to gym. Basically, what are you doing? You produce stronger heart, muscle, and bones. That's what you're doing by exercising. And in overall, you are improving the body fitness and health. That's what you're doing, going to gym. But to develop a disciplined exercise program, going to gym 5 times a week, 2 hours each time, it needs a very strong discipline. And to develop a disciplined exercise program, you need a series of thoughts. A series of thoughts totally controlled by discipline or determination. The key word is determination. A series of thoughts controlled by strong determination. A series of thoughts with strong determination. Aditana. And this is another example of how mind-made material arises, how the mind can produce material. We think about only going to exercise, lifting weights and strengthening up. But behind it, there's a push by the mind. If your mind is strong enough, you'll go to gym for once or twice and you drop out. Then mind-made material cannot be there. There's always a series of cause and effect, and always end up with the mind. Now, we are going to talk one from the scripture, because I'm explaining these karma-born material, mind-born material, using the modern available information so that we can all relate it quite easily. That's what I'm trying to do. But this one comes directly from the scripture. All of you or some of you might have heard about a sutta discourse called Bojjhanga Sutta. Discourse is on 7 factors of enlightenment. And if you are not familiar, look for it in the books. Or maybe one day I might give a talk on 7 factors of enlightenment. And it has become a tradition to recite these Bojjhanga Sutta, 7 factors of enlightenment. Discourses on 7 factors of enlightenment. When a family member is sick, of course it's for the Buddhists, because this is the Buddhist perspective and approach. So we have to know how this come about, why it's become a tradition. When somebody is sick, you recite this sutta for a person to recover from ill health. This particular sutta was recited by the Buddha when one of his disciples, Mahatera Kassapa, and at another time another disciple, Mahatera Moggallana, those are the senior disciples. When they were quite ill, Buddha went to their bedside and recite these sutras so that they can listen. Not only listen, the disciple listen, reflect penetratively the meaning, the essence, cause and effect. When the Buddha was chanting the sutta at their bedside, and it is said that their illness were averted, they became well. Not only became well, it is said that that particular illness never arise again, as if an arahant who has eliminated all mental defilements. An arahant who got enlightened, all mental defilements never arise again. Like that, all mental defilements are totally uprooted by the path consciousness. Just like that, that particular illness is being eliminated and never arise again. Also another instant when the Buddha was quite ill at one time, quite ill, seriously ill. He let Mahatera Sunda, the name is Sunda, recited the sutra at his bedside. He said, "Hey, Sunda, come on over here. Recite this sutra." And Sundamati recited the sutta at the Buddha's bedside. The Buddha listened to the sutta with deep reflection, and he became well because he was quite ill. So he asked somebody to come and recite, and that way it is easier to follow the threads. These are direct examples from the scripture how mind-made materiality can heal the body's negative materiality. Of course, to get well and have an immediate effect, one needs a developed and concentrated mind. So, if one's like to develop mind-made, good materiality to influence any negative materiality in the body or the negative materiality of karma, we all need to develop our mind and achieve good concentration so that we can have the effect of the mind-made materiality to heal, to cure all the negative materiality of the body as soon as possible. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you very much.